Shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to the only true God of heaven and earth, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Israel, whose true name is Yahweh, and to his only begotten Son, the Messiah, the Lamb of God that taketh away the sins of Israel by the shedding of his blood, whose true name is Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus. And double honors to my elders and teachers in Great Millstone, and honors to all the prophets and teachers that carry the spirit of faith and truth within them. My name is Zachariah. Hear my speech concerning the truth, that is the word of the living God, which word pertaineth the future of the world, of the nations, and you Israelites, which are you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Indians, who are the true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his 12 sons. And this is not a black thing. You have Israelites who may look like the heathen, but are, descendants of that bloodline. But anyways, we are coming into a time where the Lord will bring every vision to effect. A time of fulfillment of prophecy. In this case, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 to verse 18, which is a prophecy pertaining to society. The majority of people receiving implantable technology, a real piece of technology, a micro C-hip in their bodies, serving as an instrument of buying and selling, of programmable money, of a digital currency system. Then I'm sure it's going to involve digital ID, obviously, AI, and possibly these data centers. And this is going to be caused by the elites, by the rulers and the powers, of this world, who are wicked. And this is going to be a societal, economic, and financial shift that's going to be drastic. And there's going to be a lot of draconian measures, that is actions, and a lot of pain and suffering and loss behind that. And all of this is according to the agenda and plans of the elites. Obviously according to their ego, their pride, which is evil. But nevertheless, it's all according to the will and prophecy of God. It is written in the book of Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision, which is synonymous with prophecy. The word vision is interchangeable with the word prophecy. It says, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So the prophets are making plain, in other words, interpreting these visions, these prophecies, these scriptures, this doctrine, and publishing it. And what is being said by these prophets, by these teachers, according to the spirit of truth, is that the mark which people will be caused to receive, to take, is implantable technology. An implantable microchip. And this vision is for an appointed time, which time we are very near. A time of the end of the world. That is the end of this current power system. This current world stage. Where America's at the top. And we are in these last days. And this is when these prophecies will come to pass. The final few. And it's coming, man. Now, this was posted, this magazine, this article was posted on Politico.com by a reporter named Calder McHugh. And he was speaking on, in this article, that Silicon Valley wants to put a chip in your brain. So he's basically alluding to, the enterprise, of these elites, of these billionaires, these tech, elitists. An enterprise means an undertaking, something that you undertake, like a mission or a goal. And this is assuredly theirs, There will come a time in a not so distant future, he said, when you decide to stick a computer chip in your brain. At least that's what D. Scott Phoenix told the audience at TED in 2026 in Vancouver last month. Someone you'll work with will get it first, and you'll hold it out for a while, the way you did with the smartphone, but eventually you won't, said Phoenix. And this is, a reality soon to come. The rich, the poor, the great, the small, the free, and the great will receive it. And this is prophecy, man. And the truth is, circumstances will pressure people to take it. Not only because it is a trend. I'm sure that's going to, have people to take it as well. Men following other men, and, this is the new trend, the new direction of society. But the truth is, circumstances economic collapse, societal change for the worse, for the bad, crisis, scarcity, famine, and ultimately draconian, rule and measure of the government, of this rulership. That will pressure the people into that direction of taking it. It tell you, it greatly implies in Revelation chapter 13 that it will be the means to buy and sell, as if it's going to be the only means to buy and sell, and so it will be when the time shall come. To be without it, to go without it, will make certain circumstances differ from those who will take it. Now, ultimately, the elect, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, will not take it. And they will be provided for, they will be helped. They will be careful by divine intervention. They will be guided in those days. And I'm sure you're going to have some people who may be, very strong in their beliefs, though they may, worship idols and, lies, religions, and, but, I'm sure you're going to have certain believers of different things, ultimately deceived, who will not take it. But focusing on the elect, they will not take it. So you may be, economically, financially, socially, X'd out in a way, or targeted, Now I'm going to get, some of the points. It says, to put bluntly, in his view, we are on the cusp of the next major transition, the merger of humans and AI. And I'm sure that instrument, that implantable technology, will be involved with AI. With AI system, you really, that's just logical. Because there's going to be a whole system behind it. It's not just the implantable technology. It's going to be a whole system behind it. And I do believe, speaking as a man, that these data centers are part of it. This perspective, as outlandish as it may sound, is commonly held in Silicon Valley. And yes, Silicon Valley, ultimately is a synonym of Slovakia. It basically represents the entire American and global technology industry, regardless of whether a company is physically located there. So it's So talking about southern San Francisco Bay area of Northern California. You know, it's a synonym for that industry. You know? Now, mm, AI tech billionaire Peter Thiel is a vocal advocate of transhumanism. And you think about Palantir, which Peter Thiel is involved in, or was involved in. Palantir have been merged with the government, with the military department. You know, and you could look it up. You know, and that's it. Just showing you that this is the push. You know, the direction that these elites, are going to. This is the aim of theirs. You know, no matter what we see in the news, you think about, these different states of America, they make certain laws banning, you know, things surrounding implantable technology and, digital implants. That don't matter, you know? I'm gonna close off in that, Lord willing, this lesson's edifying. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Shalom.